Okay, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Chris, and I'm one of the Shortcuts educators here. Now, I appreciate some of you may be familiar with myself. I often do all-day webinars on a Wednesday. However, just due to sort of my current schedule of everything going on the last couple of weeks, unfortunately, I haven't been able to do that. But in the next couple of weeks, I'm hoping to pick that back up again because I appreciate we have lots of regulars on there, and it's absolutely fantastic speaking to you all. But if not, if this is your first time jumping on one of my webinars, again, my name is Chris and I'm one of the Shortcuts educators here. So what we're going to be going through today is essentially sort of preparing to reopen. Now, we all got the news we've all pretty much been waiting for. Now, I appreciate for some of our beauty therapists and things like that in our clinics, we aren't quite there yet, but we are positive, hopefully in the next couple of weeks. I've been keeping our eye on the sort of National Hairdressing and Beauty Federation. So fingers crossed for that. So we're going to run this webinar today, just sort of some essential reopening tips. Now, most importantly, switching on your SMSs, switching on your book me's if you switch those off, and also just moving through. If I think of some other things which I do think will help you, ladies and gents, out, I am also going to throw that into the mixture as well. So I've got a couple of other things I'm probably going to run through as well. And of course, I'm also going to run through a couple of new features which launched literally just a few days ago, which is our pre-arrival SMSs and emails, along with our ad hoc messages, text messages to our clients. Okay, so let's get started. First things first, for those of you that have been on my webinars before, you will know there is always just that little bit of housekeeping, a little bit of background information. So the duration of this webinar, I don't really know. I foresee it to be around the 45-minute mark. But of course, depending on how many questions we get, it may be a little bit longer, it may be a little bit less. But if we can sort of allow around 45 minutes. Of course, my microphone has been switched on. Everyone else has automatically been muted. So if you are listening in with a headset or a microphone or anything like that, please don't try and talk back to me. Your speakers, of course, must be turned on to hear this webinar. So hopefully everyone can hear me nice and loud. And also your questions will be taken either via the Q&A or the chat box. Now, I will probably save the questions to the end. I'm hopeful getting through the webinar, we should answer any questions you may have. Now, I appreciate, again, some of you may have been on some of my webinars, and you will know I do like quite a few PowerPoints. Unfortunately, just due to how busy we've been, I was only able to make a very quick power slide up for you. However, we're going to jump straight into our live demonstration. We're going to get everything going. And of course, I will upload the videos within the next 48 hours to YouTube if you want to watch that back, okay? And it's going to be under like preparing to reopen, but you can always filter via our YouTube channel just to find, the sort of latest and most updated videos. Now, of course, if you do need any assistance, you can drop us an email at education@shortcuts.co.uk. Now, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, we are receiving a huge amount of emails and requests at the moment. We are saying there's around a 24 to 72 hour turnaround, unfortunately, just to get back to you. However, if you've ever emailed myself or the education inbox, we always aim to get back to you much quicker. And of course, if you do require our help desk assistance, it is 0161 972 4900. But again, please be patient with them. We are receiving a very high amount of inbound calls. So please be patient if you are giving us a call. But we will always get back to you as fast as humanly possible. Perfect. You will also see on the slide, on the last slide we're looking at here, we of course do have some helpful resources, some URLs, things like that. Perfect. So with that being said, let's get started. Let's jump straight into our live demonstration. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to open up my main Shortcuts Fusion system. Now, I appreciate we may have some live users as well. We are going to be running through some information that will work on live as well. So the first thing, let's have a look at switching on our text message confirmations. Now, there's a couple of ways you ladies and gents may have switched these off, so I'm going to run through as many as I can. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to click onto Setup on the right-hand side, just here, and if I circle it for you. And then we're going to click directly underneath that where it says Configuration, and we can see this little spanner here, just here. So we're going to click onto Configuration. This is where we configure our Shortcuts Fusion system. Now, to the bottom left-hand corner, you will see a tab where it says General. We're going to click onto that and we're going to click confirmation. Okay. Now I am of course using a test system, so unfortunately I don't really have a bundle or an account set up. But the first thing we're just going to do is check we have a tick popped in here where it says support. If you have taken a tick out of support, you will require us to pop your username and your password back in. Okay, and this will be popped into the account section. Now, if you were to click onto the account section after this and you notice your username and password isn't there, please do give us a call, okay? However, I'm not entirely sure everyone would have done it this way, but I just thought we'd cover all bases. The other thing we're going to do is we're going to click onto the right-hand side where it says configure. Okay, now some of you may have popped a little dot in this circle just here where it says send confirmation requests manually. That currently means your system is still set up, but the messages will not be automated. They're currently sent to be sent out manually, so you'll have to manually push them through. Now, if you do want to send them out automatically, it's the third option just down here where it says automatically send confirmation requests. It's the third option just here. So we would click into that. We would click the done button and we would give a quick restart to shortcuts. Now, the other option you ladies and gents may have chosen to turn off your SMS confirmations is in the top left-hand corner here where we have this tick box. And you will see it says allow contacting from this terminal. This means we are allowing text messages or contact to be sent out from this terminal, i.e. this machine. So it's going to be sent out from this PC. Now, again, we're just going to double check we have a tick in the top left-hand corner. Then what we're going to do is we're going to click the done button. And we're going to click the done button again. And you see it may says any changes made may require you to restart the application. So I will show you now how to restart your shortcut system. So over on the right hand side, we're going to click the main button in the top right hand corner of our screens. We're going to go down to the last button where it says exit. We're going to click onto exit. We're going to click next exit. And then what we're going to do is click exit shortcuts, okay? That will close shortcuts down and then we can simply reopen it. For the purposes of this webinar, I'm not going to close my shortcuts down because of course I've not made any changes. So if you do want to just double check that your text messages are working fine, we can send ourselves a test, okay? Now in the bottom right hand corner of our screen, we're going to click where it says menu. And then we're going to click confirmation status, okay? This is basically the status of all of our text messages. Now, I'm unfortunately not able to do this again because I'm on a test system, but you will notice as I circle it for you, there is an SMS button. This is like sending just a normal text message like we conventionally do on our mobile phones. So we would click onto this SMS button, and then you will see a box appears where you can type in your mobile number and a message. That way you can just double check all of your confirmation messages or your bundles are currently working. And that is how we can switch on our confirmation text messages. So the next thing we're going to do, and we've often been asked, is how can we add a cleaning block or a sanitation block? This basically gives us a bit of a 15-minute breathing space after each client. And I'm going to show you how to do this now. So on the right-hand side, we're going to click the setup button in the bottom right-hand corner. And we're going to click the services button. This is where all of our services will sit. Over on the left-hand side, you can see a list of all of our service categories, i.e. beauty, classes, color, and so forth. And we can expand these service categories by simply clicking the yellow cross directly next to it. And this will open up this category and show each individual specific service that falls under that category. So I'm going to add a sanitation or a cleaning block after my eyebrow wax. Now, of course, you may wish to do this for all of your services, okay? Any service that you decide afterwards you need to clean or sanitize the area down. So I'm going to click onto eyebrow wax, and in the bottom right-hand corner, I'm going to click onto details. And in the second block just here, I'm going to type in sanitation. And I'm going to say how long I need to do this. I'm just going to say 15 minutes. Now, we don't need to worry about a break, and we don't need to worry about a sell price, and we don't need to worry about costs or points. But what we do need to do is tick this box to the right-hand side where it says finishing, okay? That basically means that will be added on after any appointment that this client makes. So if they make multiple appointments, the sanitation block will only be added in once, because of course you may not see it necessary to sanitize the station after every single service. And of course, if it blocks out individual 15 minutes, you're going to use up a lot of your time. So please ensure we do tick this box to the right-hand side where it says sanitation. And we're going to click done in the bottom right-hand corner. So let's test how that looks. Let's make an appointment. So you will now see straight away, I have a 15-minute sanitation block to be added in. So someone's just asked, that's a very good question. How do we remove the sanitation block? So of course, yes, if you don't wish to have it later on, all you need to do is literally click back onto services, find the relevant service, click back onto details, take the tick out of the box, and then just delete all of the information as you go. And that's how you can reverse the procedure. So excellent question there. How do we remove it afterwards? So all we need to do is literally reverse the procedure. So you will notice there, I now have a 15-minute sanitation block popped in. Perfect. So that is how we can add a sanitation block. Now, one thing to remember, if we just go back to that, that was under services. And I did that under the eyebrow wax, and I clicked onto details to set this up. Now, one thing to bear in mind, if you already have another finishing block, maybe you're utilizing a finishing block with coloring services, such as a full head tint or a full head of highlights, and then a wash, cut, and blow dry, your sanitation block will be in the third block. But if you're already utilizing a second block, it's fairly straightforward to configure it from there. Now, if we can just all remember this second block where we added a sanitation, and I'm just going to pop that in again just there, just so we can see how it works. And if we just keep that just in the back of our minds that we've added this 15-minute sanitation block in, because it will be quite important when I talk through your pre-arrival messages in just a moment. So someone just asked, how do you pull up the gray boxes to the right of the client screen? Emma, that's something completely different. I'll show you that at the end. So when we get to that at the end, that's something completely different, but I will show you how to do that. Perfect. So we've switched on our SMSs, and we've also gone through how to add a sanitation or a cleaning block into the system. What we're going to go through now is, some of you may have already thought to yourselves, we are only going to be offering appointments if the client is wearing PPE. PPE is personal protective equipment, i.e. gloves, masks, things like that. All things we're fairly sort of clued up about for the time being. Now, of course, if a client does forget to bring their own PPE in, their personal protective equipment, we may provide this. And because of this, we may charge the client, okay? Now, it's entirely up to you whether you decide to do this. But if you do decide to do this, I will show you how you can add this on to a service. So again, on the right-hand side, we're going to click the Setup button. And we're going to click where it says Configuration, again, under that spanner where we looked at right at the beginning. Over on the left-hand side, you will see the fifth option down is where it says Sundry Income. Now, Sundry is basically ad hoc or one-off payments. So this is going to be sort of an ad hoc income into the salon. We're going to receive money, we're going to charge money for PPE. So if we click onto Sundry Income, and there are a couple of ways we can do this, but one of the most common ways and one of the most popular ways is to set it up as an automated surcharge. So it will be added on to every single bill. Now, of course, if you do it this way, you can simply remove it. But of course, doing it automated means there is less room for error. So let's set up an automated PPE. So we're going to click the new button just down here. And we're going to type in the Sundry Income. We're going to call it PPE. Then under Sundry Type, if you want it to be automated, say added on to every single bill, but like I said, you can simply remove it if they do bring their own. I'm going to hit the drop down arrow, And we're just going to click here where it says date surcharge. And in a second option down, under fixed amount surcharge, we are going to say how much we're going to charge for this PPE. So we're going to say we're going to charge £5, okay? To the right of that, you can say what this surcharge applies to. So what does this PPE surcharge apply to? Is it just services, products, or sundries? So I'm going to say it's just for services. Then underneath, we can say when this PPE surcharge will be applied. I'm going to say it's going to be available for every day. Now, of course, if your salon isn't open Sundays and Mondays, of course, it won't matter. So that way we've added on a automated surcharge, and we're going to click the save button. Okay. Now, of course, if you just wanted to add a PPE sundry, but you didn't want it to be automatically added to every single bill, you wouldn't need to worry about changing it to date surcharge. You would just literally leave it as sundry, just like that. But you would need to add the amount in the top right-hand corner. Okay. So that is how we can do it if you want to manually add the PPE on. If you want it to be added on to every single bill automatically, but again, you do have the option to remove it. Under sundry type, we click date surcharge. Fixed amount, we choose £5 or £2.50 or whatever it is you're charging, and say what it's applicable to, and then simply choose the relevant days. And we're going to hit the save button. So let's check one of our clients out. So I made this appointment earlier for a very aptly named client called Tess. So let's check the client out. Perfect. So there we go. We can see automatically the PPE sundry surcharge has been added. Now, of course, if you do wish to remove this, all you need to do is click onto the quantity one and click 0, and that will remove it for you. Perfect. And that is how we can add a PPE surcharge on. So the next thing we're going to do is looking at switching on our online bookings, our BookMe. Now, again, there are a couple of ways this may have been done. Okay, if you're a Fusion user, which is what we're looking at now, one of the most common ways was to go into your employee screen. So if we click Setup again in the bottom right-hand corner, and if we click where it says Employees. And what you may have done is for each individual employee, such as James, you may have taken a tick out of the box here where it says available for online booking. If this was the case and this particular staff member is now available for online booking, we're going to pop a tick in the box and we're going to click the save button. And you would just simply work through each individual staff member and just pop a tick in just there. Now, the other option is you may have taken a tick out of all of the services that were available for online booking. In that case, we're going to click onto services on the right-hand side. And we're going to expand all of our categories and then just pop a tick back on the relevant service. Okay, so you'll see I've got my 5th column in where it says web. Okay, and we would just pop a tick in the relevant service. So that's potentially another way you ladies and gents may have switched off your online bookings. Just a quick question there. What happens if you want to add sanitation and a PPE charge? That's absolutely fine. The sanitation is a 15-minute block. That will block out your appointment book for extra time, but the client won't be charged for that. The PPE charge is sundry income, so the two can work side by side, so that's not a problem whatsoever. Okay, so one of the other ways your online booking may have been switched on or switched off is if we navigate to our online console. So if we open up our internet page and if we go to our online console, and the center screen just here is where it says Book Me Settings. It's the one with the neon signs. And one of the other ways you may notice is right at the top, it says Activate Online Booking. That would be one of the third ways to check. Now, if you rang us up and we switched off your online booking for you, it would be worth checking the first 2 steps I went through, i.e. going through your employees, going through all of the services, and then logging into your online console and checking to make sure you're active here. Okay, that's probably the way we would have done it for you, but check all of those 3 scenarios first and foremost. If not, please do give our help desk a call and the help desk guys will be able to look into it further. So I did have a question come through there. Where is this in Enterprise? Liana, unfortunately, what I'm going through now, I don't have access to Enterprise. However, we do have a dedicated lady who is an Enterprise account manager. She is the one that takes care of everything for Enterprise. Unfortunately, I don't have access to anything Enterprise. I'm not able to run through that for you. But our account manager, she will be able to run through that for you and get everything back up and running for you. Okay, so we've switched on our SMSs. We've added a nice 15-minute sanitation block. We've also gone through how to add an automated and a non-automated Sundry Ppe surge, and we've gone through the relevant ways our online bookings may have been switched off so we can ensure they're switched back on nice and promptly. So what we're going to run through now is a brand new feature in Fusion and a brand new feature in Live, a brand new feature in Cloud, all of those kind of things. So what we're going to do is we're going to open up our Cloud appointment book or our Shortcuts Live system, whichever one you're using, okay? And what we're going to do is we're literally just going to go right at the top where it says marketing, okay? And what we're going to have a look at is our pre-arrival message, okay? Now this, just like our normal campaigns, can be text message or it can be email, or of course it can be both. So the first thing we're going to look at is in our marketing. Now again, if you're a live user, this is exactly the same where all of your normal marketing campaigns will sit. You'll see it right at the top just here. And of course, if you are utilizing the Cloud appointment book, again, it's exactly the same, sending out your Shortcuts marketing campaigns. So what we're going to look at is our pre-arrival instructions. And again, this is an ongoing campaign. So we're going to click on the left-hand side where it says pre-arrival instructions. Okay, and then you can see your send schedule. Now, the first and foremost thing to bear in mind, ladies and gents, is the send schedule is in minutes, and you will see it's minutes before the start time. So we're letting the clients know of any instructions you may have for them before they arrive to your salon, okay? And it can be sent anything from 5 minutes before the appointment start time to 24 hours before the start time. Now, just to give you a handy tip, if you are wanting to send this out 24 hours beforehand, in minutes, 24 hours is 1,440 minutes. Okay, and that will give you 24 hours beforehand. Or of course, we can just give a quick Google search just to find out how many minutes we want it to be. But it can go anything from 5 minutes before the start time to 24 hours before, or i.e. 1,440 minutes. So this is our ongoing campaign, and it's called pre-arrival instructions. Now again, underneath, you can decide whether it's going to be email or SMS. So if we click onto email, you will notice everything else is pretty much exactly the same as your normal marketing campaigns. But you will notice here we have hi customer first name. Again, that is a personalized field, and it will pull all of that information through from your shortcut system. Thanks for booking at Shortcuts Live. That is, of course, just the name of my salon for the time being. Your booking details are as follows. Now, just one thing to bear in mind, we have noticed there is a very, very slight bug, okay? And it's going to be ironed out over the weekend, and it should be ready for you on Monday. However, if we go right back to the beginning, when we added those 15-minute sanitation blocks in, okay, that essentially created a second block. So if you are going to activate your pre-arrival instructions, I would always recommend, just for the time being, unfortunately, we do not have the appointment details because we've noticed it only pulls through the second block, okay, which of course would be that sanitation block. And what that would mean is essentially the sanitation block could be 45 minutes after the appointment. It could be an hour. It could be an hour and a half. In that case, we are unfortunately going to find the client will turn up late. Okay. So for these pre-arrival instructions, if you are utilizing the sanitation block or any other second block in your services, I would recommend just for the next couple of days, do not add the appointment start time in. Okay. I apologize that's happened, but it's only just been released and we only noticed it sort of today. But we are working very hard to get it fixed over the weekend. Okay, so with that being said, everything else is exactly the same. Okay, so we've got our add offer, we've got our add book button, everything like that. And of course, we can activate it at the click of a button. So everything else there is pretty much exactly the same as our other ongoing campaigns. Okay, and that was pre-arrival instructions. Again, letting our clients know that there may be some further instructions. So what are these instructions? Now, of course, you may wish to add it directly into these pre-arrival instructions. You may, of course, wish to just add all of your instructions in and say, you know, please wear PPE, please wear a mask, that kind of thing. This template is totally customizable. So you can add your own pre-arrival instructions in. And of course, whatever your send schedule was at the top, 5 minutes or 24 hours or 1,440 minutes before, that will be sent out. However, we have also created another fantastic brand new feature, and that is called Ad Hoc Text Messages. So we can basically send out text messages through Live or the Cloud Appointment Book. And I'm going to show you how to do that now. So what you would do is you would click the menu button again at the top of the screen. And first and foremost, you would create an SMS template, okay? So this is ad hoc text messages to send out via the cloud or your live system. So we're going to click onto SMS templates, and I've created one for you. Now, to give you an idea of what these ad hoc text messages could be, it could be something along the lines of, we're ready for you, please make your way to the reception desk. So you may wish to, when that client's due in, send that message out. And of course, I'm going to show you how to do that now. Or you may send a message out, something along the lines of, we're running a little bit late. So these are all ad hoc text messages to send to your client, okay? It's a great way to just keep our clients in the loop and add a bit more of a personalized service. So I've created a template here and I've called it We Are Ready, okay? Now remember, this is all text message. These are all ad hoc text messages. So I've called it Hi Customer First Name, and I've pulled the customer first name through from shortcuts using a personalized field. And we can see this just here. The team at Shortcuts Live, that's the name of our business, are ready for your appointment. Please come to the front desk. Now, one thing to always bear in mind is please keep an eye on your characters used. Now, of course, if you are using personalized field, please bear in mind the client's name might be slightly longer or shorter. So this may take you into 2 or 3 messages used. Okay, so we've created our template. We've created our ad hoc text message. So what we're going to do is we're going to click Save. So we have a client who is due in any minute now, and we want to let that client know that we are ready for their service. So we don't want them, of course, due to COVID, hanging around for safety reasons at the reception desk. So we're going to let them know that we are ready for that service. So we're simply going to go to our appointment book. And again, this works exactly the same if you're using the cloud appointment book or live. And I've got my client here that is ready to be seen. So I'm going to tap onto it. I'm going to click onto the 3 dots, and you'll now notice there's a button here where it says SMS customer. Now let's just think of this as just sending a text message to your friend. We're literally going to send a text message to that client straight away. It will then bring up just here. So you see where it says custom message. You could write your own custom message. So it could be, unfortunately, we're running a little late. But if you remember, we literally just created our own template. So if you click the drop down arrow here, you will see we have that template we just created. And you'll see it says, Hi, Chris. That's pulling that personalized field through. The team at Shortcuts are ready for your appointment. Please come to the front desk. Then what we would do is we would click the send button, and that would send me a direct text message to my mobile phone. Now, of course, you may be thinking, okay, that's absolutely fine. That's a fantastic feature to have in Live in the Cloud Appointment Book. But is there anything we can do through Fusion? Because, of course, we don't want to open up our Cloud Appointment Book on the reception desk, or we don't allow our staff members to have their mobile phones on them. Yes, we can also utilize ad hoc messages through Fusion. And you can, of course, run the two side by side. So let's open up Fusion, and you'll see I've got 2 appointments booked in for today as well. Then what we're going to do is right at the top of the screen, we're going to right click where it says James. And you'll see here the 4th option down is SMS Clients. Okay, and you can see we've got our appointment booked in. all we would do is pop a tick next to that relevant client, and we would write our message just down here. So again, it could be the same sort of thing. The only thing to bear in mind if you're doing it through Fusion is there is no templates. The templates are only for Live and the Cloud Appointment Book. But of course, you could create your message here and click the contact button to the right-hand side. And that will send an ad hoc message to your client booked in here as well. Now, there are a couple of frequently asked questions we do get regarding this. In order for these text messages and these emails to go out to clients, they will have needed to opted in for appointment confirmations. Okay, that's just due to GDPR. If you're an enterprise user, yes, you can use this. The messages will be sent out per site as well. So that's the same for enterprise, Fusion, and all cloud users. But other than that, that is SMSs, switching them back on, sanitation blocks, PPE surcharges, switching our online bookings back on, looking at our new ongoing campaign called the pre-arrival email or SMS, and as well the ad hoc text messages through Fusion, Cloud, and a live appointment book. Perfect. So thank you ever so much for listening. I did have a couple of questions come through. I'm just going to work through those now. If you do have any more questions, please feel free to drop those across to me now. Perfect. Very good question. Can clients respond to the ad hoc text messages? No, it's a one-way service. Okay, so it's the message just to let them know. Now, the reason for this is, of course, we're going to be so busy. We are not going to be able to have time to sort of respond to the messages each time they come backwards and forwards. It's a one-way messaging service through message media. It's a very good question. It's a one-way service. Yes, yes, it can only be sent to people that have opted in for confirmations. Okay, so appointment confirmations. So if they have opted out, unfortunately, there isn't anything we can do due to GDPR. So as long as they're opted in for appointment confirmations, they will receive these pre-arrival or the ad hoc messages. Okay, so Emma, how do you pull up the grey boxes to the right of the client screen showing future appointments? Mine only has letters. I believe, if I'm correct, if we go to main, and then if we click onto clients, and let's just choose this particular client here, Chris, do you mean this section just here? Perfect. Okay, so it might be worth letting everyone know if you've not seen this as well. This is what we call the client dashboard. And as you can see, it gives us lots of relevant information about this particular client. So to ensure we have this switched on, in the bottom right-hand corner, we're going to click where it says Setup, and we're going to click the Configuration button. Over to the bottom left-hand corner, we're going to click where it says General. And we're going to click here where it says General. And we're just going to pop a tick in the fourth option down where it says Display Client Dashboard. Now, while we are here, Emma, it is also worth checking that you have the appointment touch tip switched on. Now, to do this, if you go to the appointment book on the left-hand side, and we're going to pop a tick in here where it says Show Touch Tip. Now, in case you're wondering what touch tip is, it's this aspect just here. So when I click onto this appointment, it brings up this box right down the bottom here. It brings up all the information about that client. Now, if you have just switched on the client dashboard and if you have just switched on the touch tip or if you switched on both, I would recommend you give just a quick restart to your shortcut system like I did at the very early stages of this webinar. So we're just going to exit, next exit, that kind of thing. And that will put all of those changes into play. Am I still going to go through how to take bills with deposits? I can do, that's not a problem. I wasn't aware we were going to be going through it. However, that's not a problem whatsoever to go through. It depends. If they've paid upfront via Stripe, do you mean, Joanne? So you've got upfront payments set up? That's a little bit more tricky to run through in a webinar because essentially a test system, I don't actually have any clients that have, of course, paid. But what you can do, if you speak to our customer care, we have a very, very, very short but very detailed video which shows you how it works. But I will give you a step-by-step run through now. But unfortunately, it won't do it exactly because none of my clients have paid upfront. But what you will notice on the appointment, probably in the top right hand corner, it may be in the top left, I can't quite remember off the top of my head, you will notice what looks like a yellow dollar sign or what looks like yellow coins, something along those lines. Until you zoom right in, you can't see, but I believe it's yellow coins stacked on top of each other. That lets you know that the client has paid up front. Okay, then all you need to do is literally right click and check the client out just like normal, and the money will be automatically deducted off. Now, of course, if they need to pay extra, so maybe they were only paying a 50% deposit, you would just check it out just like normal, take cash, card, that kind of thing. But that's pretty much how it works. It's pretty much all automated, to be totally honest with you. But yes, if you want to know if your client has paid up front, there's usually what looks like yellow coins stacked on top of each other in the right or the top left hand corner. And also, if we go to our client dashboard where we just were, you will also notice there is an amount just here where it says upfront payment. But yes, if you do want to see it in real time, we do have a very short but detailed video which shows you exactly how it will look. And that's how it looks with upfront payment. Yeah, no problem at all. Yes, unfortunately, yes, it wasn't, I don't think it was set to, but like I said, it's a little bit more tricky when I don't sort of have any appointments booked in with clients paying online. Will it still be relevant if they have moved appointments? Yes, unless you've charged the cancellation and deducted the money or anything like that, it will still be relevant, still available, yeah. Would I add a charge in the sanitation box as well as the PPE? No. The best way to think of that, Susie in particular, is would I pop a charge in the sanitation box? The sanitation box under the services is literally just a way to give yourself a bit of breathing space to clean the section down ready for the next appointment. So as you'll notice, I didn't pop a sale price in because as you can imagine, we're not actually charging the client for cleaning down the station. At this point, the client's probably left. All we're doing is literally giving ourselves an extra 15 minutes. So I'll show you again how it works. So if we make an appointment for an eyebrow wax, what was it under beauty, eyebrow wax? You'll see it gives you that 15-minute extra time just there. So we're not charging the client for this. We're literally giving ourselves that 15-minute break so we have enough time to clean the section down. But if we check the client out, you'll notice sanitation won't be added to the bill. However, the automated PPE will. That is your sundry income. So we're not charging them for the sanitation. How do you check out using the custom console as all the stylists using their phones rather than Fusion? I presume there, Emma, you referring to the cloud appointment book. With the cloud appointment book on your stylist and therapist phones, you cannot check out, okay? You cannot pop the till or anything like that. It's only an extension of your reception desk and your appointment book. So no, you won't be able to check the client out. You can add services and extra products to the point of sale screen via cloud, so that when the client gets to the reception desk, they're ready to be checked out like normal. But unfortunately, we cannot check that out via the cloud. Of course, if you're using live, yes, you can check the client out just like normal. Yes, if I wanted to charge PP and sanitation, would I add the amount in the sanitation block? Yes, absolutely you could do. Yeah, not a problem. Just add it in there and you can always change it so it's treated like a normal service. No problem at all. Can the pre-arrival instructions be set up to send both an email and SMS? Yes, absolutely, Rob. Very good question. For the pre-arrival campaigns, just like all marketing campaigns in cloud and live, you can use SMS and email side by side. Yeah, not a problem whatsoever. Just simply activate them both. You're very welcome. Perfect, lovely. Any other questions for me this afternoon? Yes, so good question. Can you do two pre-arrival messages? One maybe for 24 hours before the appointment and maybe 10 minutes before the appointment. Yes, absolutely you could do. Yep, you just create a brand new one for, like we said, 24 hours before. That's 1,440 minutes. And yes, just do 10 minutes before the appointment so they get both. Yep, that's a great way to send them out automated if you want to. Can you send this training session? Yes, you'll be emailed it most likely Monday and Tuesday, but in the next 48 hours, it will be uploaded onto YouTube as well. It's just youtube.co.uk/shortcuts/users. Actually, I think it's um, youtube.co.uk/users/shortcuts UK. Do you know how I can take deposits if a client not booked online? Shall I phone Stripe? Not essentially. Take deposits if a client's not booked online. What we can do, we can do it manually over the phone. We can take a deposit that way. They will require their card, obviously their credit and debit card to do that. And that is via a account payment. So I'll show you how to do that. So if a client wishes to add money on their account or a deposit over the phone, what we're going to do is we're going to go to the point of sale screen. And the one thing to remember is we must choose a client from the top left-hand corner. We must pop some money on the account of the client, okay? Now, usually this is quite easy because we've got the client on the phone, so we can ask their name. So let's pop it on to Will Smith. Okay, let's just remove all of this just really quickly, just so we clear everything down. Okay, so to pop money on someone's account, we've gone into the point of sale screen and we've chosen a relevant client from the client list in the top left-hand corner. Okay, so we're going to click right on one of the empty gray sale lines just here. Choose whichever stylist you like. I would always get into the habit of choosing Z Business. However, your staff members will not earn commission on an account payment. Then all we're going to do is click here where it says account. And just type in however much money it is. Now, of course, if it's the full amount, you would be required here to know how much the highlights were, the cut and blow dry were, that kind of thing. Or of course, they can pop any amount they like. And then just check it out like normal. Now, of course, if they are doing this over the phone, the payment will be via card. And then just check it out exactly like normal. So we've now put £36 on Will Smith's account. So essentially, let's just remove my printer error that I've switched off. Essentially, we've now put a deposit on Will Smith's account of £36. So how do we know Will Smith has money on his account when it comes to it? So again, if we go to clients, and again, if we click onto Will Smith, you will see we have a green book just here. And also utilizing that client dashboard, you will see we've got £36 owed to the client. So how do we redeem that money? So let's pop Will Smith in for a nice service. Perfect. So we can see in the top right-hand corner, there is an account payment of £36. So he wants to redeem that £36. So if you remember, the account payment button is the yellow briefcase. So we're going to click onto that. We're going to say how much money he has on his account. So it's £36. And you'll see there's just a remaining amount of £9 left to pay. And just check it out just like normal. And it's just like that. That's another way we can sort of do deposits via the phone, that kind of thing. Let's just remove that out of the way there. Okay. No problem at all. Hello, I have clients who have prepaid via Stripe. How do I redeem these vouchers that they received via email? I sort of have gone through that. I'm not sure when you say vouchers, if you mean they've purchased online gift vouchers. I'll sort of run through both. So I did run through it just for somebody earlier. Unfortunately, if they've paid via Stripe, like upfront payments, I'm not able to run through that as such because I don't have any clients that have paid any money. However, what you will notice on the appointment in the top right or the left-hand corner, there's like little yellow coins that represents they've got money on their account. Then all you need to do is right click, check the client out just like normal, and the money will automatically be redeemed off. If you're referring to online gift vouchers that they've purchased via Stripe, you would just literally check it out just like normal. And then what you should have, if everything's set up correctly before, you should have this custom payment just here. And then you would click on the gift card button. And then with their gift card that they bring in, they might have printed it out. They might have it on their mobile phone. There will be a barcode or a voucher number. All you need to do is scan it with your barcode scanner or type the number in. And that's how you can redeem online gift cards. But we do also have some very short videos which we can run through that. But again, I apologize, I'm not able to do that during this live demonstration, but unfortunately I don't have any clients that have sort of paid some upfront money. But yes, it's just right click and check out the client. What is Stripe? Stripe is an online payment provider. So you may have heard of things such as PayPal. Stripe is an online payment provider that will sort of hold the money when a client pays upfront. So they'll input their credit, debit card, Amex, that kind of thing, and they will pay via Stripe, okay? And that is what you would require to have to, of course, set up upfront payments. Yes, if someone pays for a voucher 15 and they only spend 10, yes, the rest of the money will stay on the account. It isn't lost. Is Stripe free to use in conjunction with shortcuts? No, there's a total fee of 2.9%, 1.9 to Stripe and 1% to shortcuts. No problem at all. That's absolutely fine. Yeah. So it's not free. It's a 2.9% fee. So 1% to Shortcuts and 1.9 to Stripe. If the stylist checks the client out and forgets to use the credit, if that's referring Gemma to upfront payments, they won't essentially be able to because the money will be automatically taken off. So they won't forget how to do it. It will automatically be taken off. If you're on about account payments, where we just went through with the yellow briefcase, you would just have to just run through a service. But what I would probably do is just leave it on the client's profile rather than trying to redeem it yourself to the business or anything like that. No problem, Sarah. You're very welcome, James. No problem. No problem, Susie. Um, Thanks, Chris. I missed the arrival instructions. Had to take a call. Do you mean the pre-arrival campaign? Ah, right. Okay. Yes, I can run through that. That's not a problem again. So if you were to go to your Shortcuts Live system or your cloud appointment book, and if you go right to the top where it says marketing, and then over on the left-hand side, we have pre-arrival instructions. Now, this is a brand new ongoing automated campaign. Now, like we said before, the send schedule can be anywhere from 5 minutes to 24 hours before. 24 hours in minutes is 1,440 minutes. So just always bear that in mind. The send schedule will be minutes before the appointment start time. Then underneath, you can decide whether it's going to be email or SMS, or of course, you can do both. And then everything else from here on out is exactly the same as your normal marketing campaigns. And you can just activate it just like normal. But that's a brand new pre-arrival instructions. Now, of course, you may wish to write your own arrival instructions in there. The one you will see by default is just please wait for further instructions from our team. And like somebody did say, they might wish to create their own new automated campaign or anything like that to say, please wear PPE, that kind of thing. Or, of course, you could utilize the ad hoc text messages that we went through a little bit earlier on as well. You're very welcome. Perfect. So just while we wait for the last couple of questions to come through, some of you I've obviously spoken to quite a bit, and it's absolutely fantastic having you on the webinars. And of course, if you're sort of a newbie to my webinars, just to let you know, in the next couple of weeks, we will be running through a whole day, all day, every Wednesday running forward, just as soon as my schedule sort of opens up a little bit more. I'm currently sort of back to back in training sessions all day, every day. But I particularly wanted to do this one. I know it was a little bit late because some of us are opening our salons tomorrow, but I literally just had a very short break in my schedule, and I really wanted to get on here and sort of help everyone out because I know a lot of you I've spoken to before, so I really wanted to run through this as well. But hopefully, for our beauty therapists and our clinics and things like that, I've got my fingers and toes crossed. Hopefully, in the next week to 2 weeks, like I said at the beginning, I'm keeping an eye on the National Hairdressing and Beauty Federation. So hopefully, we're going to get some good news there. Of course, for our hairdressers opening tomorrow and in the coming days, weeks, make sure you've got your sanitation blocks in there if that's what you're going to be using and so forth. And of course, most importantly, stay safe. But I know it's been a long time coming for us, and that was some great news. So hopefully everyone's super, super excited about that. You're very welcome, Emma. Will there be a consultation pre-screening that we can send to clients? Not currently. We are certainly, looking into things all of the time, but no, not currently for the time being. But as soon as, if we can do it, it will be sent out. The best thing to do, Gemma, because that sort of the message sort of came halfway between a lot of other people's messages. If you could drop us an email at education@shortcuts.co.uk, we'll give you a step-by-step of what to do about the money on the account, that kind of thing. Just because it came through so many different things, I'm just a little bit worried about I'm going to keep losing different things. But yeah, drop us an email at education@shortcuts.co.uk. Either myself or one of my team members, as soon as we possibly can, we'll run through a nice step-by-step of how to redeem that money. Perfect. So I think that's it for all of the questions today. I think we've got everything. Make sure I've not missed anything. So yes, like I said, hopefully if we are opening tomorrow, everyone's keeping nice and safe, ready for it. Everyone super excited. I'm sure you're going to be in absolute hot demand, and quite rightly so. So yeah, it's going to be absolutely brilliant. Moving forward, like I said, I'm very, very booked up for the next sort of coming weeks, as is my colleague. So if you are emailing myself or my colleague or the education, please, please, please bear with us while we get back to you. Like I said, we are very, very booked up at the moment, trying to get everything sorted. Particularly if you've emailed me, I always try and get back to you as soon as humanly possible. But yes, please do bear with the team, but we are doing everything we can. But other than that, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to everyone again. It's great seeing so many friendly faces, familiar faces, that kind of thing. It's great to have you back on my webinars, and we are going to continue the usual service in the next couple of weeks. But yes, so just sort of as we finish up, if you are opening tomorrow, of course, stay safe. I'm sure you're going to be very, very busy, and I'm sure you're all very looking forward to it. And like I said, quite rightly so, you're going to be an absolute demand. But yeah, all stay safe. It's been a pleasure speaking to you. All the best of everything, and I'll speak to you all again soon. Thank you ever so much. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.